Hey, New Jersey, this week we stopped by Sansone Auto Mall in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Josh Chomik, what'd you think of the experience?
Blast.
Sansone, if you don't know, has been in New Jersey since 1969 when it was founded by Paul Sansone Sr. And I gotta say, this place was enormous. 55 acres of cars, the largest auto mall in New Jersey, and all around a pretty crazy car buying experience. They've got Toyotas, they've got Mazdas, Kias, Hyundais, Nissans, Chryslers, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, all of them. So if you're in the market for a car, stop by Sansone right there on Route 1. Great people over there. And by the way, they're running a Memorial Day markdown with pre-tariff pricing on over 3,000 vehicles. So if you've been saying, I'm waiting for this tariff thing to blow over before I buy that new Toyota, guess what? They've got you covered.
I know people buy cars elsewhere. I just don't know why.
Hey guys, you know what time of year it is? It is officially peak paver season. It's time to bring out the pavers.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you've been waiting to get that new patio for the springtime because summer's coming. You want to entertain people. You want to get the new blocks laid in your backyard. Well, we've got good news for you. Our friends over at Ruther Material Company have locations in North Bergen and Succassana. And guess what? They're selling Nicoloc pavers. Josh and I, just a few weeks back, got to go to Nicoloc's manufacturing facility up in Sussex County, New Jersey, and see these pavers be made right here in the Garden State. And I gotta say, pretty stinking cool.
They're beautiful.
Guys, they've got options for your driveway, your walkway, your pool deck, everything you could need. Also, expert support and advice, and fast, wicked fast delivery. All available through Ruther. So if you're thinking about changing that patio over, visit our friends in North Bergen or Succassana. That's the Ruther Material Company. Let them know we sent you, and make sure to get that Nicoloc block.
Hey, this is Jersey. You're listening to the Garden State.
Oh, okay, because we're faded. We just faded into the podcast right there.
Oh, you don't have to say it. It just has to happen.
Okay, let's try again.
You kill the momentum.
Let's try again.
No, it's already going.
Well, what were you doing today?
I was working. I was at work all day.
Oh, are we recording?
Dummy.
I love it. I love the
Such a
fade in,
nerd,
guys. The fade in is the future of the podcast. For the listeners that this is your first time ever listening to us.
You have to make it natural, though.
Okay, let's try again. Yeah, hey everybody, welcome back to the Garden State. We're trying this thing where we no longer do an intro. For the listeners that this is your first Garden State podcast episode ever, we used to do this like Brady Bunch style. I'm Josh, I'm Jordan, I'm Jimmy intro, and it just started to get too many people. You know, the podcast kept growing and the intro got longer, and I just feel like it felt a little too polished. If I'm being honest.
You didn't like the polish?
No, I mean, that's not what we are. We're here to be your neighbor, your friendly neighborhood New Jersey resident, giving you the news.
You didn't want to be News 12.
No, definitely. Well, I nothing against News 12.
No, we love them. Shout out Lauren Dew.
Good people over there, but we're not News 12. We're not the news.
No, we're not.
We're regular old, You know,
we got a comment
people.
the other day on our video, and this girl commented being like, why don't you guys ever tag your hosts? They do all your stories for you, talking about myself and Josh.
And meanwhile,
acting like we're some sort of news network. and I guess she doesn't realize it's just us, like who have a podcast.
I think I like it that way. Mm-hmm. Although we could start tagging ourselves to see if we could scoop some followers, right?
Yeah, put the ats in the bio.
That's not what it's about. It's about the pleasure.
It's about, spreading the good news around the state of New Jersey.
Sometimes it's good news. Most of the time it's very depressing and dark, but there is some good news. I will also say we got a ton of mailbag calls this week, and it always blows my mind that people actually listen to us. I'm like, man, these people are listening to us yap for an hour straight once a week.
It blows my mind, and I'm so grateful for everyone listening. And if your mailbag does not make the episode, know that we listen to all the mailbags before we even start. It just would take an hour-long episode to go through all of them.
Well, it may call for one of those infamous mailbag episodes where we just do all the mailbags.
Yeah,
I told you, my dad always says, just do the mailbags. People want the mailbags. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, that's all the people want to hear is the mailbags. I don't know what he means by that. Maybe he doesn't like the rest of the podcast.
My mom said the same thing. And
really?
I just tell her, hey, call into the mailbag and tell us that. Or else,
Yeah, well, I think it just creates an excitement of like, oh, I'm going to hear myself. It's like people calling into the radio, like so many radio shows.
Huge
it's just like the entire show is just people calling in and saying stuff.
I just stopped calling into the radio because it always takes forever to get through.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of this, though. It's like you just immediately are in.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
it's
you
got to
could
be a
say-
good call. It's got to
Yeah,
be a
it's
good
got to
call.
be a good call, but you don't have to wait. It's like you just call, say what you got to say, and hope you get on.
I've mentioned this in the past, but Josh and I used to frequently call into local radio in our free time when we were, 17, 18, 19. And it's electric when you get live on the radio and then you hang up and you turn on the radio with that delay and you hear yourself. There's something magic about radio.
It's like when you hear the host's voice coming through your phone.
Yeah.
It sounds different than listening to the radio. You're like, wow, like I'm actually talking to this person right now. This doesn't feel real.
Did we play the clip of me complaining to sports radio with the Mets, or do we just listen to it?
I don't know where that clip is.
I sent it to you guys. One of you sent it to me of me calling into, what was that, 710 or no?
Jimmy sent it to the chat. What was that, like a year ago or something like that?
And calling into the radio, you just sort of realize the radio guys love a character. They love when somebody calls in and there's a little off the walls.
You need that person.
And I would call in character. We've played it for the listeners before, and they loved it. They didn't even care if I was being real or genuine. They just want someone to call in and scream about stuff. And I know we said that's what prompted us to go, we want more characters calling in. And we did have some it's like, what do they call it? The era of wrestling? Was it there's like an era of wrestling with characters. I'm saying it wrong, though. I'm not a WWE fan.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yo, AJ.
What's up?
I'm on the podcast right now. Question for you, wrestling question. What's the era of wrestlers? Isn't there like a name for an era of wrestlers that have like a persona or like a big ego? Wasn't there like a whole name for it? Like the Bad Boys era? Was that a thing?
No, there was an Attitude Era.
Attitude era. That's what I'm talking. What's that? What's the Attitude era?
Attitude Era is 97 to 2002.
Wow.
Yeah, it feels like forever. Like people remember it as if it lasted like 10 years. It was basically 5 years, and wrestling got so hyped because it copied off of this Philadelphia promotion called ECW that were like extreme and
what?
Bad Boys had, like,
What does Attitude era even mean?
So it was like we don't care what you think. Like screw you. We're gonna be balls to the wall. We're gonna have strippers on TV.
Okay, got it. All right, okay, we got to keep recording. That's all I needed from you. Thank you. I was trying to figure it out.
No problem.
Bye. Well, okay, so maybe I misunderstood the Attitude era of wrestling. But
where are you going with this?
We need our Attitude era of the Garden State. I need people calling in, screaming about the traffic, saying how it's Taylor Ham. No, I don't want that anymore. We get that a lot. But like, call in with a take. Give me something to work with here. That's the thing about radio is they want it. They want the sauce. They want the, all the smoke. Call in the mailbag and leave it on the table. Not yell at us, but just give me something.
You can yell at us.
Yeah, you can, but like that's less fun. Like we're on the same team here. I don't know.
Sometimes.
So welcome back, everybody, to the podcast. Hey, this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, so we got some things to talk about there. I keep seeing videos of people saying, you complain about lines at bars down the shore. What is with people, and maybe I'm just out of touch and it's just not my wave, these kids that stand in lines at bars down the shore, what is that about?
It's been, a thing down the shore for many years. Probably for...
It looks miserable.
Yeah, they just wait in lines for hours outside these bars like DJs or Bar A, and they're just waiting for hours to go in and just party. I don't get it. I wouldn't want to wait for hours outside of a club, personally. But it's been going on for as long as I've known it.
Do you think it's one of those things that's more just about the hype than the actual experience?
Probably.
Like, when you're older, well, you don't have an older sibling.
I am the older sibling.
You are the older sibling. When your friend is like, oh my goodness, this restaurant or this new thing coming to the area, it's the best. And they hype it and hype and hype it. There's kind of this experience of the zeitgeist, other people talking about an experience so much that becomes the experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like Black Friday, how we just waited in line all night.
It's like, and it's not even about the thing. It's just about, everybody's going and we're talking about it. So let's stand in line and suffer. Do you think that's a little bit of it or no?
Well, people used to say that to us when we used to spend an entire night outside of Target waiting to get inside for Black Friday. They're like, isn't that boring? We're like, this is the moment, us waiting. So same with the people down the shore. They don't care that they're waiting in line for 5 hours with their boys. Like they're going to have a fun time and live in the moment. Not my thing, but I guess that's how some people like to party. It sounds miserable.
It's definitely something.
This is random, but I just saw the other day there's a big line outside of GameStop.
Ooh.
Which I've haven't seen in years. I'm like, what?
So what was it? What was
I have
driving?
no idea. But people had like actual couches that they were sitting on, just like lined up.
What?
And I'm just like, what is going on at GameStop? I don't know if it's a new console
I
or
keep
something.
seeing people comment on TikTok saying, was it Battlefield 3 or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that out?
I have no idea.
I
I'm not into like gaming at all.
Ralph, do you know, is Battlefield 3 out? Is it? Yeah, you're right. It is out. 2011.
Talking about.
2011. I just keep seeing like kids on TikTok are so funny. There'll be a video of like somebody's dog is dying, and then everybody in the comments is like Battlefield 3 release. I don't know why they're saying that, but it just shows I'm a millennial. I'm no longer Gen Z or Gen Alpha, so I'm out of touch. But
I have a friend who goes to GameStop for trading cards and like Pokemon cards.
that's probably it.
what
And that's
it
a big
is.
thing now where people are buying cards and, you know, reselling them
That
or
has
getting
to
them
be what it
graded.
is.
So I think it could be like a big Pokemon card
Yeah, because
thing.
all the games now are just digital. Like you just download them.
Yeah, you're
I was
not
like, the only other
waiting in
thing
line.
it could be is like a new console.
I
I'm
hate
like,
that. I hate the Pokemon thing.
What, buying cards?
Well, here's the thing: is when Pokemon first started, kids were going to the store and getting a pack of cards. I'm talking like in 1999 or whenever we
Yeah.
were real little. And then as it progressed, they became extreme collectibles, and you know, a decade later, a Charizard card is worth $100,000 or
I wish I
know.
kept my cards.
Yeah, but you didn't know.
Didn't know.
And that was the beauty of it. I keep seeing these videos of grown men, like 40-year-old men, buying boxes and boxes at Toys R Us or whatever, Target, whatever store. And it's like, where is the fun in that? That's what ruins everything, is the resellers.
I think there is a fun in it. Like you're looking for that perfectly graded card. You're looking for that card in perfect condition. It's like an adventure you're going on. I could see like how it could be fun for certain people.
No, but the point was, it's like the Willy Wonka ticket. If in Willy Wonka, a 40-year-old man went and bought 1 million chocolate bars, that's not the point. The point is Willy Wonka opened his chocolate bar and got it. That's the beauty of the experience. There's magic in that. And when you see a 40-year-old man that weighs 400 pounds sitting on the floor at Target opening all these packs, it's like, what is wrong with you? This is not the point. You don't agree?
I mean, if it gets to the point where you're sitting on the floor in Target, yes, it kind of gets a little extensive. I'm just saying, like, I've seen people buying cards like online, and I don't know, they like to collect.
It's the same as when we went to buy concert tickets, right? So someone here said McGee is coming to the Stone Pony. Mm-hmm. And I said, I've been to a concert in forever. I was like, hey, if you guys can get tickets, I'll go see that. I know some of his music. The second they go live, the bots get all the tickets.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's like, that's no fun. Like, let me get a ticket.
Yeah, anyone listening, you got to connect to the McGee show at Stone Pony both nights. Let us know, because
please.
we're trying
Press
to
pass.
go. It's very expensive resale right now.
I don't know if I'm making sense, but hey.
No, I think you are.
Memorial Day weekend, it's happening, right? And I'm going to the parade. Do it every year. I've talked about it 4 years in a row or 3 years in a row on this podcast. We're going to celebrate America old school style. Well, we're not celebrating on Memorial Day weekend, but we're honoring those that have lost their lives, and we're celebrating their memory.
Yes, 100%.
In a parade form, which is it's an odd thing, a parade on a day that's really a day of mourning if you think about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, but you're honoring their life, I guess, right?
It's like when a loved one passes away and they lived a great life. The funeral is a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time and a place to mourn. There's also a time and a place to celebrate.
Yeah, and you have like the repast, which is like more like sharing like good memories.
A lot of
and all
good food.
Yeah, like you having food, you're kind of celebrating like their life.
Yeah.
The legacy. Well, I'm doing the parade, but I feel like this is
barbecue at the Wren's house right after.
probably. I'll let you guys know if you want to come through.
I'll come through to the queue.
Yeah, they always get the bagels. But I will say Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial launch of summer here in New Jersey, which means pools are opening, people are heading down the shore. I can't believe it's already here. We're getting nonstop wind and rain every day, it feels like.
Terrible week to lead up into MDW. It's like been cold, rainy. This weekend's going to be a high of like 70, I think.
Yeah. It's going to break, though. And I think, well, even if it's a high of 70.
It's still going to be sunny, so it should be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be sunny. We'll
just
get some
can't be
sun.
jumping into the ocean yet. You could, but you might be freezing.
Yeah, a polar plunge.
But it is officially upon us, which means summer is here, which means start making those summer plans now, because it's going to be Labor Day weekend before we know it. I just feel like an old man at this point when we talk about this every year. It makes me like, I just realized summer goes so fast. I'm already mourning the loss of summer. It hasn't even began.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm in the dumps.
That's so depressing.
Do you guys realize
even
it's
think
June?
about that.
Guys, it's June.
It's not June. It's May 22nd.
in a week- in
You're
a
only
week,
2/3
we got
done.
one
You're only
week.
2/3 through May. You still have another 10 days.
Oh man, but like, look,
Enjoy those 10 days.
listen, we're like basically.
You're sulking in the fact that June is already
know.
here. It's not even here yet.
I just feel like the year just started, man. But hey, any fun Memorial Day tips or plans for the weekend? Anything you want to throw out there to the listeners?
If you're going down the shore, leave your house very early
Yeah.
or late at night. That's
Okay.
all I can say.
Good advice there.
And if you live in Jersey, you should know that by now.
That is true. Crazy traffic.
Anything going on there, Jordan?
I mean, I'm probably going down the shore, but not doing anything too crazy.
What beach?
Probably just a brick beach.
Oh, you're just going to the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you don't have a house or
No, I
someone-
have friends that have a house down there. So
There you go.
In brick, so you know.
See,
Stay with
everyone's
them.
got to have that friend with the beach house.
You got to have a connect.
Yes.
I have a family member with a boat, and last weekend he was like, "Hey, if you want to come down next Saturday, we're gonna have a boat out." And I was like, "Yes, absolutely." But then I looked at the weather, and I'm like, "Is it gonna be a boat day on Saturday?"
I mean, it's not going to rain. It's going to be 70. You might just need like a hoodie later in the
Okay.
day, depending on what time you go out. But yeah,
Is it gonna be worth it to drive down Saturday morning?
100%.
What time?
Oh, Saturday morning?
Yeah, what time do I leave
Mm.
at?
I mean, I would leave early, but
Okay. Well, I'll have to figure that
I
out.
feel like it's going to be, from our house, like what traffic looks like going down the shore. It's to get down there, bro, it's going to take you like 3 hours. You have to leave at like 6 a.m.
Okay.
Don't 8 a.m. on, don't touch the parkway. You're done for.
You're right.
You
you're
know
right.
that.
I know. You're right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can make that happen. I thought it'd be fun to be on a boat to start Memorial Day weekend.
You should do it.
Get that Garden State flag out there, flying high.
Especially now you got the baby coming in a month. You want to get these activities done now
Yeah, you're right.
before you're stuck in a house for a few more
You're
months.
convincing me. I'm going to call up my friend, my family, and just see if I can make it down.
Jordan, are you going to make it down to the family boat?
No, I wasn't invited.
He's not family yet.
Oh.
You gotta put the ring on.
Yeah, then I'll get.
He's
the
still trying to
invite.
figure out if Liv is his second cousin or not.
Oh, speaking of which, we talked last week about the legality of marrying your first cousin, and then we posted a video today about it, and people are freaking out, figuring out that that's legal in New Jersey to marry your first cousin.
Yeah.
One lady was like, I knew somebody 30 years ago that married their first cousin. It was a little weird at the time, but they lived a wonderful life and they're very happy with each other. I'm like, what is wrong with people? Aren't there birth defects if you marry your first cousin?
There has to be some sort of defect, right? Like I don't know.
It's like that's the most.
Did they say they had kids or no? Did they just
Yes.
say, oh, wow.
Let me find the
just
comment
poor
right
kids.
now. I was just reading it. I'm like, people are so out of their minds.
I saw one comment. Some guy was like, I ended up marrying my second cousin in Jersey, but first cousin,
That's a little too far.
Second cousin.
yeah, like that's too much. Like, what the heck, man?
Where's this lady's comment?
Sounds like there's nothing wrong with a second cousin, but first cousin, ugh. People are crazy. Bro.
I actually know first cousins that have been happily married with children over 30 years. Kind of weird, I suppose, but hey, it works for them. Is that the standard? It works for them?
Well, you don't know. You don't know what those kids look like. So hey, if it works for them, it works for them.
Do you think there's any listeners that are married to a first cousin? And we
I would love
offended
that
them?
mailbag. I would love that mailbag.
They're like, hey, I'm married to my first cousin.
That would be awesome. Like
that's messed
we
up.
need someone to represent the first cousin marriages in the pod.
I don't know that we do. I think as a society,
Yeah,
maybe
I'm
we don't
kinda
want to
good without that.
represent that.
Maybe we don't want to encourage it.
But speaking of which, we should go into mailbags because we did get a wedding marriage-related call that was hilarious.
Yes, we should do it.
We offered last week, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, we said, hey, if you want us to crash your wedding, Josh was like, I want to crash a wedding.
I really do.
And I said, hey, that could be fun. Maybe we could get an invite, which isn't technically crashing a wedding at that point. But we did get a call. But before we do that call, we had somebody on last week who was an air traffic controller, our friend Scott. He was at Newark Airport, I think he said for 30 years.
Forgot, but yes.
A long amount of time. And when he got off, we were like, we should have made Scott do like a call sign or whatever it's called. They're calling a plane in to land on the runway. I want to hear what it would sound like if the Garden State airplane was landing. So, Josh, do we give the number for the mailbag first and then I play this?
Play this, then we'll give them the number.
So he called in and he did it. And I was just like, this is cool.
epic.
We nerded out a little bit. So check this out.
Hey, Garden State, as per your request, Garden State 908 North Tower, caution wake turbulence team trail to heavy Boeing 777 on a 2-mile final. Additional traffic 11 o'clock, mile and a half westbound. Overhead the number is 1,500 to helicopter. The wind 330 at 5, runway 2 left, clear to land.
epic.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm trying to follow and see what he like to understand what he's saying, but that was so quick. It's gibberish. It's beautiful.
I would have crashed the plane. I'm like, I have no idea
what
what he
he
just
just
said. We're going in hot. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
That was really cool. Thank you, Scott.
It's kind of like an auctioneer.
Yeah, they have like that quick. Yeah, but the air traffic controllers obviously are more clear in their speaking because someone actually has to translate that and understand it.
Yeah.
I feel like auctioneers, they're just really going
Do you
gibberish.
think it's the type of thing where you only need to know like one little piece of it?
No, you
Like,
gotta
need-
know everything.
You need to hear your plane number and then the runway number. Like he said, Garden State 908, North 10, and then he ended with 3305 runway. So maybe it's just like
Also,
you
you got like 1500 in there talking about the height or I don't know, something. Like there's a lot of numbers in there that everyone needs to know.
That's very cool.
Dude, I've always wanted to hear that. Thank you, Scott.
I'm so grateful that he decided to call back and give that one to us. That was pretty cool. All right, hey, mailbag. If you want to call in the mailbag, here's the number. We play it every week, so you don't forget it. My nephew actually asked me last week. He's like, he's 10. He was like, how did you get a number that's 3 digits, then 2 digits,
Oh,
then 5
yes.
digits?
Love that.
And I was like, no, when we say it, we moved the digit. I had to explain it to him. He's
magic.
like, oh, okay, I got it.
It's an awesome question.
But it was so great. He's like, how did you get that number? So you can play the number, Josh.
908 67 99 99 3.
And I didn't play it, but here we go.
What's up, boys? Hey, just got done listening to the last week's podcast. Let me tell you guys, I heard you guys want to crash a wedding. Feel free. My wedding's coming up. I'm telling you guys this.
Joe Mick here, checking in from the Edit Bay, blocking out all the information this guy's sharing with us right now so we don't get everyone else to crash his wedding.
This is my invitation to you guys. Me and my fiance, we would love it. Yeah, come through. Thank you, boys. See you hopefully soon. Don't put this in the podcast, please.
Well, can we censor out all the
I'm
details?
I'm going to censor out all those details.
Because he said he doesn't want it in the podcast. So we could just say, like, we got invited. Maybe you could alter his voice a little bit, or do you think he doesn't care about that? He just doesn't want the details.
I'm gonna get rid of all the details.
Okay.
So our boy is safe. But that's the call I wanted to get.
Okay. So there's an issue here. The issue is
What's the issue?
a staff member of the Garden State is also getting married on that date, Jordan.
Jordan, you're getting married on the same date?
Yeah.
What's the date the guy gave us?
Well, we can't say it because that's the detail he wanted blurred out.
Wait, but you're getting married on that day?
Yeah.
That same day?
Yeah.
What time is your wedding?
At 4:30.
What time is your reception?
I don't even know. I gotta look at the schedule.
Because of
I assume it's like an hour and a half
Oh
after.
no. So we have a wedding to choose.
Yeah.
And I'm leading towards the one from our listener. You know, it's funny. My parents got married in the early 80s.
At this venue?
They had the reception. I keep saying it. Oh my God.
I'm just gonna keep that in. You can keep that in the pod. I'm gonna bleep it out.
This poor guy. I'm blowing his cover. My parents had their reception at the same venue.
I've been to this venue for other occasions as well.
in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. And they're just it's a classic Jersey story.
It's a great venue.
Is it? I've never been.
Oh yeah, because your parents, obviously. Yeah, I've been there before. It's cool. It's really nice. Beautiful spot. What I'm thinking, Jordan, I'm going to hit up your wedding out of respect for you and our friendship, the ceremony, then the reception. And what I'm thinking is because his timing is a little later than yours, I think on my drive home, I'll be able to pass his venue because it's near where I live, and I'm going to be able to stop in. And at that point, everyone's going to be partying.
But there's
I
there's
can
one
blend
issue,
in
though.
so easily.
You're supposed to give a speech at my wedding.
No, I'm good. I told you I'm going to be at the reception.
But it's much later on in the night that you're going to give the speech.
You're not going to have speeches that late.
You're going to give the closing speech.
Yeah, how late are we going to go?
10 o'clock.
Really?
Yep.
Didn't you say
the closing speech?
Didn't you say the ceremony's at 4?
Yeah.
It's a long wedding, man.
That is a
I don't know if I'm going to
long-
make it the whole time.
Actually, maybe we'll go to 11.
I'm doing an Irish goodbye, just so you know.
Just leave. Right after the ceremony, you just leave.
I'm going to have a 2-month-old baby. This is going to be a tough
I think
one.
it ends
It's
at
your
9.
sister's wedding.
Yeah, I have 4 sisters. I've already seen 2 of them get married.
Yeah,
I
but
know what it looks
You
like.
know how much this means to this sister that you're going to
I'm
be there?
kidding. I'll be there.
Okay, so yeah, if it ends at 9, I'll be able to hit this guy's wedding. I don't want to go alone though. You think you're going to be able to come with your new bride? What if you guys come dressed?
That would be so funny.
While you're dressed already,
that's
come
great.
stop by another wedding.
You show up in your tux and she's in her wedding gown. And
would be
you
so
hijack.
funny.
Okay, there's never been a wedding crashed in that way. You know, like wedding crashing as the bride and groom, hijacking it and making it about you. You ever see those videos where someone's at their friend's wedding and they propose?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the cringe, the level of cringe is
Yo, if
so
someone did that to at your wedding, would you be mad?
I would be upset. Yeah.
Really?
I don't even care that much about that kind of stuff, but I would still be upset. I'd be like, really?
It'd be a good memory, though.
It's not good.
It'd be a story to tell forever.
It would be. I probably wouldn't care. Like 10 minutes later, whatever.
So yeah, to this caller, did he say his name? I don't think he said his name, but we are going to try our best to be at your wedding at some point in the night. You might just see our faces pop out of nowhere, and we might just surprise you. But it's in my calendar, and we're going to try to make it happen.
You know, the funny thing about weddings is you pay for the plates, but people could just walk into the reception. Like there's no security at the door.
And nobody's like counting. Like,
It's so easy.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
like,
It's so easy to crash a wedding, especially if it's a big wedding.
Like if you realistically, like if you didn't fell in hard times, you needed food for the weekends. I would just go to venues and just wear a tux and just walk in and get some hors d'oeuvres. I mean,
It really, no one's going to say a thing
you
to
could
you.
pull it off, man. Like, and then maybe dance a little bit. I mean, why not? I mean, we could see. Hey,
easy.
let's get one more mailbag in here before we talk news.
Hey guys, just wanted to give a call. You made some good points about Netflix coming, and voice maybe some points about maybe an influx of workers coming from different states, like the East Coast. I mean, the West Coast, Carolina, stuff like that. New Yorkers. I think if anything, based on experience, this is going to bring a lot of our highly skilled New Jerseyans kind of back to Jersey. I feel like, in the past, the status quo has always been like, if you want to work in media, if you want to try to, make a name for yourself, with a big corporate job for one of these big media companies, you would your hand was always forced to either move to New York or spend at least 4 or 5 hours of your day commuting, through the train and driving back to your house in Jersey. So I feel like this is going to be really good. Also, if you work in New York, obviously you deal with the whole, quote unquote double tax situation, like I kind of do now. So I think, Netflix being built here is going to influence hopefully a lot of other companies, and it's going to kind of keep our talent homegrown. I think it's going to be really big for the you guys kind of mentioned, the generations upcoming. That you can work for these big companies and not have to really sacrifice your whole lifestyle of having to move or spend thousands of dollars in commuting costs. So I think it would be really good for Jersey to have jobs like Netflix coming in. So have a good one, guys.
Thank you for the call.
Thanks for that call. What do you think, Josh?
It's really interesting. I like what he said, where like it's bringing the highly skilled New Jersey workers back to Jersey. Because thinking about like film and television, a lot of people might have moved to LA. They might have moved out to New York because they needed work and they couldn't find that job here in New Jersey. So, number one, this is going to help all the kids up and coming who are going to like Montclair State University studying film, and also the people who did leave the state, like he said. So I agree with the call. I think it's going to be a good thing, Josh. I think there's ups and downs in every single situation here.
I see the benefit of what he was saying about like a large corporate structure being local, so you don't have to go to New York or Philly to work. That's a fair point. Imagine if you had a 20-minute commute to Netflix. That's a pretty cool experience.
It sounds like the dream job, especially if you're like down in Monmouth County already. Why not?
Yeah, like it sounds pretty sweet. I'm not fully convinced on the fact that this is going to specifically benefit people from Jersey, or like I like the idea of, we have a friend that's from Jersey that's in LA right now, and her husband works in film. Mm-hmm. I don't see him moving to Jersey for Netflix.
No,
I think
especially because he works for a great company already
in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Could he do it? Maybe. I could call him and ask him, like, would you move to Jersey for Netflix? But I think mainly it's going to be a mixed bag. You're going to get people from Jersey getting more jobs, which is great, but you're also going to see an influx of people, of course, especially sort of that executive class. I think of people that I'm sure Netflix is already lining up who the bigwigs are that are going to go head this major project in that core office of,
Yeah.
But I think there's pros and cons. I'm just more so, I guess I'm becoming an old man in the sense where I'm like, I just feel like there's so much overdevelopment happening. And it feels like we need less people in New Jersey. I know that's like, you're not allowed to say that, but we need less people here, it feels like.
Yeah, and the reality
like
is
Dwight said, we need
that's
a plague.
Never going to happen, and you're just going to keep getting more and more people.
Well, I don't know. People are also leaving the state. I think you're going to see in one of our stories today, we're going to talk about the rising energy costs coming June 1st. And I think you're seeing an outflow of people as well. There's definitely people leaving New Jersey.
But didn't we do a story on this like a year ago where it's like we do see a lot of people leaving Jersey, but the amount of people coming in is like double the amount of people leaving?
Yeah, and I think that's also, those numbers are probably heavily skewed from, you're thinking 2022, 2023, post-COVID.
Yeah.
People leaving New York. And I think, we're reaching a critical mass, it feels like, in most of the core kind of suburban areas. But I don't know. Well, the jury's out. We'll have to see what happens with Netflix. It's happening. So, it is what it is. I think there's going to be great parts of it. There's going to be negative parts. So I'll call balls and strikes as we see them, right?
2026, phase 1 should be finished. So that's like when the first part of the Netflix studio is going to be opening. I don't even know what's in phase 1, but that's what they're saying. And then the complete construction should be done by 2028. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Do you guys have Netflix?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I went on it last night.
You guys pay for that?
Yeah, I probably pay $10 a month.
Is it only 10?
No, I think it's like 17 now.
Whatever I pay. I pay for the ad version.
Oh, okay. I think the ad version is probably
$10.
That's actually pretty cheap though compared to other streaming sites.
So I say that because I went on last night and there is literally nothing to watch.
Okay, that's
Netflix.
a lie. There's one good show.
What's it called?
American Manhunt.
What's that?
Oh, it's about Osama bin Laden.
We started watching that the other night.
Did you?
The 3-part series?
Yeah.
Shelby liked that. I couldn't get into it.
Really? It was so good.
I got to start it again.
I thought it was phenomenal.
What is it? The story about how they captured bin Laden?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like from the start, like 9/11, or actually before 9/11.
Wow.
In the 90s.
Why couldn't you get into it?
Maybe I just need to watch it again.
Too fake?
I think...
Just skip to the last episode. The last episode is nuts because they're interviewing...
No spoilers. No spoilers.
How did that
I don't
story
want to
end?
know what happens.
They interview the actual guy that killed him.
Wow.
And he's like recounting the whole night. And it's just like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but
like,
a lot of people say he lied a lot. Like a lot of other Navy SEALs say like he was the guy they selected to tell the story because they wanted to have a kind of figurehead for the experience.
Like a face for it?
Yeah, exactly. But I've also heard, you're talking about something O'Neill. What's his name?
I forget his name.
He's like the ginger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also heard him tell the story where I'm like, this guy's, obviously he's a Navy SEAL, like he's a legend. Yeah. But I've also heard other Navy SEALs be like, oh, he's full of garbage. Like that's not true. So I don't know what's real with all this stuff, but regardless, he's dead.
Yeah.
So.
He claims to be the one. His story of like walking in there, it was like with one other guy walking into the room and he turns and just sees him. And he's just like, oh my gosh. Like
that must have been crazy.
Like, that's got to be the most surreal.
I was on a train coming from Penn Station and people on the train started freaking out. The train was hype.
What year was this?
2011, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Then when Saddam was what year? 2008 or earlier?
I don't remember. I think that was earlier because there was remember the execution video was supposed to be on YouTube.
Can you just look it up really quickly?
Yeah.
Because I remember while I was watching the news live TV, I was a kid and like they were showing the room where he was going to get hung.
Why did it feel like as a kid, every couple of years there's a major death, whether it was a terrorist
Ralph
or
wasn't
like
even born yet.
When?
Saddam Hussein.
2006.
Yeah, because that was when YouTube was. My brother was like the videos on YouTube. We got to find it. And we could not find it because it was like all scam clickbait videos.
I was scared.
And YouTube was
man.
brand new at that point. I remember being like, "What even is YouTube? Like, what are we on?"
Yeah,
right
is this like a bad site? I don't know what this is.
We couldn't find it. I didn't see anything. But I will say, our childhood. This is the mark of a millennial. Your childhood is marked by major deaths,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
and 9/11.
9/11, and then which is major deaths.
Yep.
But also, if you think about it, like when did Michael Jackson die? Like everybody remember Jordan. Where were you when Michael Jackson died?
I was here at home. Well, actually, I don't know where I was when he died, but I remember watching his funeral at home.
Okay. So maybe my theories. I was in Virginia. See, Ralph was in Virginia. I was sitting on my parents' couch. I remember it, seeing it come on the news. Where were you?
I was at a friend's house.
See, like there's these things that happen that just they mark us. And
it was a sad night. A lot of tears.
MJ. All right. Should we get into some news here?
Yeah.
And we're halfway
let's
through
do
this
it.
episode. Let's start talking New Jersey news. This is what the people came for. Yeah. Jordan, I will give it another shot.
Seriously, just watch the last episode.
She's gonna be mad at me because the first episode I didn't pay attention. Now I got to watch it again. So I'll watch that and then we'll keep going.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So crazy stories all around this week. This one's coming out of Menlo Park. Good old Menlo Park. So after 300 teens brawled at the Menlo Park Mall. The mayor is now requesting more security.
There is these videos were absolutely insane.
Can I just say, Menlo Park, I'm lifting the mic for this. I got to rant. Menlo Park has gone down the drain. What happened to Menlo Park Mall? First, it was
I can tell
Woodbridge.
you exactly what happened.
When I was a kid, the Woodbridge Mall at Christmas time was a magical dream of just exactly what you want a mall to be. KB Toys, the whole experience. And then Woodbridge Mall kind of went down the toilet. It's not the same. Then Menlo came in our teenage years, remember? You talked about Black Friday. Black Friday in 2010. What a dream 15 years ago. It was the perfect mall, had all the stores you need. If you go to Menlo Park Mall today, it is not the same mall.
Ever since they got rid of the water fountain,
You think
things
it
started. Think about it. Before the water fountain, you didn't have these brawls happening at the mall. You didn't have crime
It's just
skyrocketing in Edison, New Jersey. The water fountain changed everything
kept
about
the
mall.
peace.
Though it was beautiful. Then they made it look all modern and beautiful. Oh, we have a great mall. It's going downhill.
It's just doesn't feel. It had this feeling 15 years ago where it was the perfect mall. It was the perfect. It wasn't too fancy like Short Hills. It wasn't too messy like Woodbridge. Right in the sweet spot, that middle class sweet spot. Good food court, lots of options. And now 300 teens at a mall brawling?
It'll ruin a night. You know, you're out on the town, you're out at the mall with your family on the weekend, and then you just see like 300 teens just crowded, just running around the mall, police everywhere.
It's always Menlo too. Like I feel like this happens like I see videos pop up on my TikTok feed like fairly often, just like a brawl or something going on.
Look at the
Menlo.
area we live in, dude. So congested. Like all these kids are coming from
why-
different towns. It's an easy meetup spot in the middle.
Yeah, I'm just like, why Menlo? It's like, go to Woodbridge. That's what everybody in the comments are saying. Like, this is Woodbridge.
This is Woodbridge activities.
Yeah, do this at the
I
Woodbridge
feel
Mall.
like Woodbridge Mall would be a great place for a brawl.
So because nobody's there.
Right outside the Johnny Rockets.
Well, that's the thing. There's more things to do at Menlo Park Mall. That's why these kids are going there. And also, I don't think most of these kids didn't go there to fight. I think they just went to hang out, and then a brawl just started out of nowhere. A fight came. I don't even know the details of it, but like,
yeah, there are people saying there's like an active shooter and all kinds of stuff.
it just was a mess. It was a messy situation, and it wasn't pretty.
When you have that many people, tensions rise. So like anything that sets it off, it's like a boiling pot of water. That's gonna blow steam out like a little bit, and then somebody's gonna like explode.
You're right. It's a bunch of hyper kids, 17-year-old kids, and they're looking for the excitement. They're looking for the thrill. I will say I am hopeful now that we see kids are returning to malls, because that was a big thing for a while. The kids are done with malls, but we need them to return and not bring guns and start brawls. How can we figure that piece out, you think?
Yeah, how can we keep a peaceful situation in the mall while having the crowds of the kids?
It's just a different America, man. I mean, like, so this is what's going on. So Mayor Sam Joshi?
I think it's Joshi.
Mayor Sam Joshi said he is asking Menlo Park Mall management to increase security and consider a curfew after 300 teenagers were involved in a weekend brawl that resulted in 7 arrests and 1 police officer being injured. Pause right there. Why is it on the mall to police the minors of our society? That just seems absurd to me.
Yeah, I don't know why he's coming for the mall security. Like, what, they want to up the security to stop it? It's these kids' behavior that needs to get better.
Yeah, I would say if I was the mayor, if I was Mayor Sam of Edison, I would be saying, hey, we're going to be putting out $1,000 tickets for every kid that's even spotted at one of these brawls. We'll be writing endless tickets. Like there has to be a harsh penalty for like the parents in these situations. Like what does you're gonna have Paul Blart? Paul Blart's the arbiter, the guy that's gonna stop the 300 kids in the mall brawl with guns. I don't see it happen. It just doesn't make sense.
It should never get to the point where there is a brawl at the mall with these kids. 15 to 17-year-olds.
So listen to this. Police from 9 different departments, including Woodbridge, New Brunswick, Carteret, Metuchen, Piscataway, Cranberry, South Plainfield, Highland Park, and the New Jersey State Police, responded to the mall on a report of a brawl shortly after 8 p.m. Saturday, May 17th. 7 teenagers from Hillsborough, Linden, New Brunswick, and Woodbridge were arrested. 6 were charged under juvenile statutes with disorderly persons offenses for refusing to comply with police instructions and failing to disperse. One was charged with assaulting a police officer. The juveniles ranged from ages 15 to 17. They were all released to their parents. Yeah, their parents should get a $20,000 fine. See, here's the solution, guys. Parents that don't parent their kids, and they raise these little villains that go to the mall and bring guns and start brawls. If you're 15 and you can't go to jail because you're 15, then your parents should be held responsible.
Just like down the shore, they're ticketing the parents $1,000 fines if their kid is like caught past the curfew. Do it here. If your kid's fighting at the mall or brawling, give them a little $1,000 fine. See how the parents change up.
So Joshi said he wants this Simon Property Group, the Indianapolis-based owner of the mall, to add license plate readers, cameras, and security personnel. He said he also wants what he described as one of the last thriving malls in New Jersey to impose a curfew. This is just, to me, this
license
is ridiculous.
Plate readers?
Yeah, like
that's not going to happen. That's not going to change anything.
What is happening in society where you have to have a mall become a police state because the leaders of our society, whether you want to call that the actual leaders like the mayors and governors and political leaders, or the spiritual leaders like the leaders of the different faith organizations, you've all failed to lead people well enough to build a constructive, healthy society. So now we need a police state. That's the solution. It's like, I'm on a Facebook page for a local town that had 2 cars stolen the other night. And the first comment is, we need to put license plate readers scanning every plate that comes into our town at the entrance of our town. That's the solution, is me. You're going to be scanning my license plate as I come in because we can't figure out a way to punish the lawbreakers of our society. We failed so much at having a civil society and putting bad people into prison that regular people get penalized. Does that not make any sense?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What did I do? Why are you going to scan my plate? Why do the police need to know when I'm coming home from a wedding with my wife? You need to scan my license plate? Whatever happened to freedom? I thought this is America.
I can't believe he wants that at the mall.
At the mall?
That is wild.
Like, first off, what is that going to... So
how is that going to stop 300 kids from brawling? That's why I don't understand.
Maybe they would have something where it's like, oh, we've scanned 400 license plates of 17-year-olds driving in right now. Call the police.
Who are they paying to even like pay attention to all that? You know how many more workers you got to bring in to like keep that up? Like, no, it's not going to happen. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems he's pushing. Like, listen, he said changes need to be made within Menlo Park Mall and Simon Properties, and we will continue to work with them until that happens. I don't buy this. I don't think this is the job of a mall. There's not a wave of malls across America that don't have license plate readers with mobs breaking out. This is specific to this specific part of New Jersey. It would seem that this is happening, and not just this specific part. All across New Jersey, we're seeing curfews go into effect. Something is wrong in our state. Someone is failing.
There's a theme here,
yeah,
Josh.
Someone is failing the next generation. And if you want to blame a mall, that seems like an easy cop out. Now, I'm not going to blame the mayor of Edison because like we said, there's like 6 towns involved here. But it would seem like there's some gap. There's some disparity here between the reality of the situation and what our leaders are saying needs to be done. I don't think this is the Simon Group out of Indianapolis. They're the ones that they're going to fall on the sword for the failure of corralling 300 kids at a local mall. I don't buy it. I don't know. What do you think, Josh? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm just like reading more into this, and it says the gathering of teens at the mall was apparently prompted by social media posts on TikTok. Joshi said no charges have been filed against the social media influencer who posted the video, but everything is on the table as the investigation continues. He said the video did not indicate the intent of the gathering was to cause a fight, but it was to cause a disturbance. So I guess these kids are like, I saw the thing. It was like, oh, we're having a meetup at Menlo Park Mall. Like, do you think these kids actually just want to hang out and all it took was 5 bad kids to start a fight?
No, I think...
Or you think they just want to all hang out?
I think it's a weird humor thing among... It's the weirdness of like the way these things work is people go to these things knowing, I don't think they go knowing a fight's going to break out, but they go knowing it's going to be crazy. That's the whole point. It's like, show up, we're going to have 600 people show up to Menlo Mall. It's going to be it's going to be wild. Show up. Like people inherently know in their minds, I think, this is going to be nuts. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we'll light some, like, I'm not saying these kids are going and saying they're going to light something on fire, but who knows? You're going to have 600 people there coming into a mall at one time. Chaos is the goal there. Don't you think that's pretty clear?
I don't know if chaos is the goal every single time. I think it might just be a few bad kids.
Remember when the beach meetup happened?
Oh, yeah.
3 summers ago?
Yeah.
It's like beach link up. There's like one flyer going around and then they were flipping cop cars. Like, this is the point of these sorts of events. They get out of hand. It's the mob mentality. You get a mob of people together. There is just it's almost like the current in the ocean. Like, people begin to move in a way where you can't control what they're doing, and there's so many people that I don't know, like that a law was really broken in 300 kids coming together. Like, where is the law that was broken?
Well, the chaos began.
Well, exactly. So, but it's like, can I not text 300 of my friends to go meet me in a park? Like,
I don't think you can. Isn't that considered like an unlawful like gathering?
Yeah, at a certain point, it's like you have to like book it as an event if you have 300 people coming to somewhere.
Yeah, you basically have to get a permit.
Yeah, like that's a lot of people.
I know people like, you know, who have followings get in trouble sometimes because they're like, oh, I'll just meet up at this place real quick, and then thousands of people show up, and all of a sudden it just causes chaos, and like you can't do that.
So especially it's a private property, a mall.
Yeah,
you're not a park.
So an unlawful assembly is when 3 or more people gather together with the intention of disturbing the public peace, this is an unlawful gathering. That's a good point.
I like the reason why they were going to have a meetup. Like the mayor said, the teen who posted TikTok indicated he wanted to conduct interviews in the hope of recruiting other teens who wanted to become social media influencers.
That's so funny.
With the kid, I saw the
video.
He has like 11,000 followers. I'm like, how did he get 300 people to show up?
A friend tells a friend, and
I mean,
the kids have nothing better to do.
It's got to be like
mall.
2 people saw it and then just like told their friends, and they told their friends. Because I'm like,
I mean, as a teenager, I would have done that. I would have gone out. I would have been like, "This is awesome, boys. Let's go to this meetup."
So you think the intention was pure here? Kids weren't trying to cause an issue.
I would say most of the kids were going to have a good time,
and then a fight broke out.
I would say a fight broke out amongst a few, and then chaos. Everyone just kind of jumped in and backed up their friends. That's what I think.
I think the goal wasn't to cause chaos, but I feel like if you're going there, you're expecting it.
That's how I feel.
That makes sense. I feel like you may not be going because to cause chaos, but you're going because you know there's going to be something.
You
crazy
also have
happening.
like 5 different townships coming together here. Townships have beef.
You're like,
who's the best here?
It's
and
just
all it
like,
takes is one stupid kid to like blow up.
It's just like car meetups where so many people, their goal isn't to hit people with their car, but if you see videos of car meetups, people doing burnouts and then hitting people, it's like everybody knows it's going to happen.
Don't mess with the car meet people. They get very mad.
Do they?
Yeah, they're very defensive. Right,
well, I'm
Ralph?
not saying they can't do it.
They get very much
saying,
like, I love when there's
so many videos.
I've seen videos of people doing something dumb with a car, and all the comments are, "This gives the car community a bad reputation."
Yeah, they get so mad.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I to the mayor of Edison, Sam Joshi, I can't say he's wrong in saying malls need to provide some level of security, but I don't think that's the solution. It just seems like a very you're sort of outsourcing.
Comes down to the parents, man.
But maybe I guess you could say, how do you prevent this? If 300 kids show up to a mall at one time, I guess before the police arrive, the mall needs to have people on site going, "Hey, you guys got to leave, break it up." Which, like, what authority does a mall security guard really have?
And also, there's so many entrances. It's like, how do you even know they're all coming together?
Yeah, the amount of people you have to hire to be
scattered groups to be like, wait, are you guys connected to each other? It's like,
yeah.
By the time you realize it's all one group, it's like it's too late and you can't control them.
It's like that scene in Bronx Tale. They should just lock the door.
now you can't leave.
Yeah, just lock them in.
I will say I saw a TikTok of people in the Apple store when it happened.
They went out to the back door.
Yeah, and I was like, I always wanted to see what was in the back room of Apple. Like,
you wish you were there that night.
That hidden door where they go in. I'm like, but they showed it. I was like, okay, now I see what it looks like.
Genius bar. So, I mean, guys, this is an ongoing conversation. I'm sorry for my passion and energy. It drives me nuts when I hear these stories.
Yeah, you really changed that they took out the water fountain. Like, I just know you did. Like, that was, yeah.
I changed after the water fountain?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, you became so much more passionate for this mall you once loved.
I'm not even being funny. I loved the Menlo Mall. I thought it was such a great mall. And honestly, I went back probably a year ago and it just felt so different.
No soul.
There's the soul of it's gone.
Lost its color.
It's a different place now.
What mall replaced
Get into a mic if you're going to talk. Gosh, Ralph.
What mall replaced it for you?
I mean, I don't really go to the mall. If I'm going to go to the mall, I live closest to Short Hills. I don't buy anything there, but it is a very quiet, peaceful mall.
I mean, like, also you don't have the mall lore like when you were a teenager. Like a teenager, a mall was very different than it is now for us.
A mall is a different thing for me now. A mall, I'm going to for a very specific purpose. It's my anniversary. Let me go get something at the mall. And at Short Hills, I can get a lot of good stuff for something like that. But the feeling of Short Hills is still very orderly, peaceful. There was that robbery that happened like a year ago because they have a lot of luxury stores, but it's very quiet.
Well,
It's
they
like
also
a
had-
nice. There's kids hanging out. They're they're laughing, having
They
fun,
also
but
got
they're
like
not.
some sort of jazz music in the background there too.
Yeah, it's
like
nice.
you walk, you're
It's
like, what is
nice.
this music?
Remember that guy that was executed there though? They stole his car.
Really?
I mean, every
you
mall.
remember that? Like,
no.
There's an
Really?
execution at every mall.
Where I forget what kind of car he is, like a Range Rover or something. They stole his car and executed him in the.
Really?
Yeah.
We can move on to the next story, but really quick question. Josh and I, we actually went to King of Prussia Mall, that
Yeah.
giant mall in Pennsylvania this past weekend.
Yes.
When talking about a mall having life or a soul, you walk into King of Prussia, it's so massive. How do you feel walking to King of Prussia into a mall you don't really know, Josh? Like, did you like it or did you hate it?
So that's a really nice mall. I thought it was nice. I liked it.
The section we entered was kind of bad, but then it got nice.
It got nicer, yeah. I don't know. That was our first story. We got to keep moving here. We spent a lot of time. That was a good one, though. Here's a funny one. Well, maybe not funny, but interesting. A man was bit by a venomous snake in New Jersey this past week after trying to help it off a bike path.
Cute little snake on the bike path. Let me go try to pick him up and move him to the side so he doesn't
Yeah.
get hurt.
So a cyclist in New Jersey learned the hard way that sometimes people should let nature take care of itself. Dan Geiger, a writer living in New York City, was riding his bicycle along the Palisades cliffs when he saw a snake laying in the bike path. Instead of immediately moving away or keeping his distance from the reptile, he looked to help it as he didn't want it to get harmed. He tried to nudge it with his water bottle, but it didn't move. Geiger then reached out with his hand, a move he would very quickly regret. The snake, a copperhead, bit him on his right index finger, according to the Hackensack University Medical Center. Geiger stopped two people passing by for help, who in turn called 911. Copperhead venom is rarely deadly, but it could cause significant damage to the affected area where the bite occurred. Anything from intense pain, internal bleeding, swelling, blistering, and even tissue death are possible as a result of a copperhead bite. The photo of this.
I mean, look at that finger, bro.
His finger looks like
It's nasty.
a rotten sausage.
Okay, imagine that thing came and bit him in the face. What his face would look like.
Yeah.
Like, he's grateful it was the finger, but like, bro, don't be trying to touch his... Did you think it was a garden snake?
I don't know. But it says the quick response from the bystanders, paramedics, and doctors, along with having an anti-venom ready to go in the HUMC, likely saved Geiger from suffering permanent damage to his hand, according to the hospital. That's an interesting thought. It's amazing that local hospitals have anti-venom.
You gotta.
I guess they have to have it, right?
Especially because we have two venomous snakes in New Jersey, so, you know, it could happen. It doesn't happen often, but, you know, it does happen, so they have to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Like, if I see a little baby garden snake, I'm running away. Like, I'm not trying to pick up a snake here.
So this is a good story to talk about as the summer's approaching. We do have venomous snakes in New Jersey, and I think people think about snakes as a foreign sort of thing. They're in Florida, they're in other states, but we do have snakes in New Jersey. If you see a snake in your backyard, don't go near it, obviously. I mean, I guess it's not that obvious after reading the story.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people living in areas where there are snakes, they just pick up, if they see like a little garden snake in the garden, they're going to pick it up and like get rid of it.
I think I would, and that's where...
Like, people should just do the research on what these snakes look like.
Yeah, there's certain telltale signs that it's venomous. I think it's like if it's a diamond-shaped head, and like there's just certain patterns that they have.
What's the rattlesnake that's venomous in New Jersey called?
Where's Jimmy when we need him? He would know.
Oh, the timber rattlesnake.
Yeah.
That's way more venomous than a copperhead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like, I didn't even, for the longest time, I didn't know we had rattlesnakes. And I saw one of these timber rattlesnakes near the Delaware River a few years ago. And he was huge in a parking lot. You just hear the rattle, like terrifying. My biggest fear.
I
But
will say snake bite's kind of cool.
Snake bites?
I just think that surviving a venomous snake bite's like a cool story.
You would suffer for that one night just to say you got bit?
I wouldn't want it to happen, just like I wouldn't want to get bit by a shark. But if you survive it, you live to tell the tale.
I know.
He's got a good story now. And it says Geiger was hospitalized for 2 nights before being released. So he's recovering nicely. He didn't lose his finger from what the article says. Although in the article, if you look at it, it would appear
ballooned up.
His finger looks like it's going to fall off.
It looks like it's going to pop. It's so big.
It all worked out.
Everyone look up this story to see his finger. It's crazy.
You can look up an NYC man tried to help a snake along a New Jersey bike path. He quickly regretted it. That's NBC News 4, New York.
And I just want to respond to one person who called into our mailbag 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were saying they love watching the podcast, so I appreciate you for watching. But they're like, can you guys edit for the video version? Can you guys like put more photos and like videos like of things you're talking about into the podcast? Like this story right here. He probably wishes I put a photo of the finger. Let me just say, like, we would love to do that here on the Garden State. It's just right now that takes so much extra time. And like I edit these at night for the next morning. Then tomorrow I have work to go to after this is posted. So it's just like right now it's very hard to do.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
What if we had the monitor on the wall we talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that monitor could just be recorded and could be slapped in the bottom corner of the podcast? So it's just always there. Is that sloppy?
It could be sloppy because most of the time it's me, you, Jordan, and Jimmy in frame, and we're gonna add the TV in the fifth frame. It's just like there's no space.
Yeah.
You have to go the route of someone switching different camera angles and then switching to that. Like we have a switcher, we could do that. We just have to record from there.
My point was there wouldn't have to be any editing involved. It's just happening live. But all right, so let's go on to this next story. This is another good one. Bones found on a New Jersey beach have been identified as those of the captain of a 19th century shipwreck. This is really, really interesting. Bones have been appearing all around New Jersey.
Have they?
This is what the article's saying.
I didn't know this.
It says skeletal remains found on different beaches along the South Jersey shore belong to the captain of a 19th century ship that sank off the coast of Atlantic City, investigators announced this week.
Wow.
How interesting is this? That he's just appearing. A skull first washed ashore in Longport in 1995, and more bones were found in Margate City in 1999. In 2013, additional remains were found in Ocean City in neighboring Cape May County. For decades, the set of remains were dubbed Scattered Man John Doe until New Jersey State Police teamed up with the Ramapo College of New Jersey's Investigative Genetic Genealogy Center to identify the person. In early 2024, a forensic lab ran samples through a number of DNA databases, and Ramapo students found family history dating back to the 1600s, with relatives linked to Litchfield and Fairfield counties in Connecticut. So they're building the map. Reports said the ship likely sprung a leak and sank near Brigantine Shoal, roughly a mile off the coast of Atlantic City. All 5 crew members died, including the vessel's 29-year-old captain, Henry Goodsell. Following their discoveries, the researchers handed off the investigation to the state police, who tracked down Goodsell's great-great-grandchild, who provided the DNA sampled. Scattered Man John Doe was confirmed to be Goodsell last month.
Scattered Man.
Would you, if you found out that your great-great-grandfather was a captain of a ship and his skull washed ashore and they have it in storage, would you want it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I would do with it.
Is that like,
Well, you could take all the body parts and put them together.
And do what with it?
You know, hang it up. I don't know.
Is that
It's a memorial.
unethical?
No.
I don't think it's unethical, but
To have a skull of a family member?
yeah.
Well,
I have no idea what I would do.
Would you
with
just
it.
take it and bury it in your backyard as like a memorial?
I don't know. Like maybe I would, they could put in the acid so it's like pure, very clean. The calcium is very clean. Like maybe it'd be a cool story piece in the corner of your living room. Like that's my great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see the skull every day though.
I don't know if we're desensitized
Honestly,
to death.
I would just take the skull and put it back into the ocean, you know?
Listen, guys, here's what I'll say. If something happens to me, you have my permission to take my skull, make it a little piece for the studio.
Your parents not going to be cool with that, nor will your wife.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying it live.
Okay.
We have the evidence.
You have the evidence. Well, I guess my wife overrides this message because she could say what she wants. But it'd be kind of cool if you had my skull on the desk over there.
I think it'd be pretty gnarly, actually.
But like, is that a weird, like, think about this. Your great-great-grandfather, at what point does that become a creepy thing? And because at what point is it like you're looking at a skeleton in a college classroom and that's not weird, right?
No,
it's like science, but then you're like, well, this is a family member that died at sea. Like that's
Well, that's the thing. It's like
yeah,
it's
like a
so
young
many
guy.
generations old. At that point, you're just like, if I knew the guy, it'd be different. But if it's like a great-great-great-grandfather that I didn't know, I think I'm cool with it.
Yeah, like I never met
If
him.
it's a grandfather who I've seen my whole life and I had conversations with, I don't think I want to stare at that skull. Like, I don't want to stare at Josh's skull, like, if he passes.
Yeah.
But I think if it's someone I didn't know personally, I'd be fine with it. Scattered Man. John
It is
Doe.
kind of an interesting thing that he kept washing up ashore over the last couple decades. They finally figured it out.
Piece by piece is crazy.
The last thing I want to say on the story is New Jersey has one of the most extensive shipwreck databases in the U.S. with more than 4,800 entries.
I believe it.
Wow.
So there's ships be wrecking, man. Wow. Luckily, we have the Coast Guard now, so when a boat sinks, they get out there pretty quick and save them. But I don't know. I just thought that I saw that story and wanted to add it in because I thought it was a pretty interesting one.
I didn't realize like they've been finding this guy for over 30 years now. That's insane. Yeah. I didn't know I thought these investigations only happen for a few years of them looking and then they give up. That's just so crazy.
All right, let's move on to our next story here. This is an interesting one. A New Jersey man who threatened to kill Governor Murphy was arrested in Florida this week.
His new residence in Florida isn't lasting that long, brother, I don't think.
The interesting thing here is I feel like this is very Florida man. This whole story is very Florida man.
He just became a Florida man, and then it's a Florida man activity off the get.
Yeah, he's there, and he's like, I guess I'm in.
Yeah,
let's do some Florida man stuff. I'm going to threaten the governor of New Jersey. That feels, it's very on brand for a guy in Florida.
Yeah.
Go DeSantis. Screw you, Murphy.
It says a New Jersey man wanted for making death threats against Governor Phil Murphy has been arrested in Florida by U.S. Marshals, according to the authorities. Russ Semeran, 53, was arrested on Sunday, according to the Walton County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Authorities said Semerman had threatened to kill Governor Murphy and was wanted by the New Jersey State Police Counter-Terrorism Bureau. Semeran was stopped on his motorcycle, of course he's riding a motorcycle, in Freeport and was arrested by a member of the U.S. Marshals Task Force, authorities said. His motorcycle, SUV, and RV were seized by the sheriff's office. On March 31st, Semeran posted on Instagram a screenshot of an email from a detective with the New Jersey State Police Counterterrorism Bureau. The detective said his unit investigates threats and that he was trying to speak to Semeran about his situation. The Instagram post just had a quote from the detective said, "My main concern is to have you stop CCing the governor and senators." So I guess he was CCing different political leaders. It's unknown what Semeran said in his messages to Murphy and other New Jersey elected officials. I think that's an important part of this story. I want to know what he was saying. I'm sure it wasn't good if you got U.S. Marshals coming. I'm sure it wasn't just like, I don't like you, you stink as a governor.
No, yeah, it was pretty bad probably.
But he was pretty unhappy with Governor Phil Murphy, it seems. And it would seem that this is a common thread in politics now. A lot of people are making threats against political leaders, right? It seems like the new wave. The issue here is this guy's photo is just hilarious.
Yeah, what are those shades? Those safety glasses?
Yellow safety goggles with a leather vest on.
I like how it says on May 3rd, Semerman posted on Instagram that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was his new governor. Did he threaten Phil Murphy? And he's like, I'm moving to Florida?
I guess he was done with Jersey.
And he made an official statement online, being like, I have a new governor. It's Ron DeSantis.
He must have been done. See, I don't want to make too much light of it because if it was a bad, we got to take threats to. I get the.
It's a serious situation.
People are unhappy with Governor Phil Murphy. I think and we're going to talk about the energy crisis in a second here. And I think Murphy had a hand in that. You can be upset with a political leader. You can't threaten their life.
No.
I mean, we ain't going 1776 yet here in America. We're not going to be getting into wars here. We got to keep a civil discourse.
You can't. You don't have to agree with everyone, and if you don't like someone, you don't have to kill them.
I mean, I tried that with Chomick here. I got so fed up. I tried to get him taken out, and it just backfired.
Unprotected.
He's so resilient.
Yeah, I did the Tide Pod challenge with him. He ate a whole Tide Pod. He survived.
It's tasted so good.
So, hey guys, listeners, don't make a threat to any governors. Just a quick note for you. Just an idea. Something to think about.
Unless you really don't like them.
Then then maybe, do what you got to do.
It's not like all your activity online is being monitored by the government. So,
did you hear about that case where some kids did a drive-by shooting and murdered somebody, and the way they found out that they were the ones that committed the crime was Google passed over browser history without a subpoena. I don't think there was a subpoena involved. And Google did their own research, and they found these kids search history on Google, and it kind of opened this can of worms of like, obviously you want a murderer to go to jail, but like, is it a good thing that Google has a full roster of everything you're looking at? Like, they know it all. I mean, like,
That's why you got to use the incognito browser.
I heard that even that.
Go.
I'm just kidding.
I heard even that's getting captured.
I don't trust anything.
I don't
Well,
trust
I mean,
any of them.
everything's going to get captured by your internet service provider anyways.
Is that the case?
Yeah. Because they can see everything going
No
in and
privacy,
out.
guys. No privacy.
There's zero
out there.
privacy.
Interessante.
Josh has to get back to his computer quickly.
I mean,
he's learning some things right now.
on this computer here, I've looked up horrible things for this podcast alone.
Like the cousin thing last week.
Well, Jordan said in the clip, he's like, you better clear your history.
You're gonna get a cousin's dating app, advertisements popping up on your YouTube.
But I don't understand. How does that work? Because if Google's not capturing your browser data, you're saying Verizon is able to then capture all information being moved across their.
Yeah, I mean, even if
That's
you
so
look
interesting.
at like the incognito stuff, it'll even say like your internet service provider can still see what you're doing.
That's so crazy. So why is Verizon not capturing murderers?
I don't know. Maybe it's too much.
Yeah.
They don't feel like it.
So I guess the point I was trying to make was, I guess it's. I wonder if we're ever going to have a revolution around tech where people are like fed up with how our information gets collected by all these big companies. Like, is it okay that all your data is being collected? Is there should there be privacy on the web? Are you entitled to any privacy?
Well, I mean, that's why a lot of people use VPNs, because then you can't.
ExpressVPN sponsor us.
Yeah, NordVPN.
Dude, I was about to say we need to get the ExpressVPN sponsor. It's on so many podcasts now.
I want ExpressVPN just for like the shopping part and for like the streaming part. Like, I want to see what Netflix Canada is streaming right now. You know what I mean? I heard if you switch countries, you get different
you get
things.
to see, because every country has different catalogs, so it's like you get to see all different shows.
Yo, Ralph, you could just. Ralph looks like a dog. He's trying to wait for permission to stand up. He's like.
So I have ExpressVPN.
Oh, really?
And yeah, when you change your location, and just go to a website, it will go to the country like automatically. Like, you still have to pay for it, but it's still like it just goes straight to the website. So I have gone Netflix in like Mexico, and there's different shows.
Oh.
Primarily, and they'll show you like they'll try and give you the Mexican version, like the audio and the captions in Spanish. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
Looks
interesting.
like we gotta get that sponsorship.
You got to get a VPN. I think iPhones have one built in. You can just turn it on.
iPhones have a VPN built into them?
I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
Let me look through my settings.
I'm
right
clueless
now.
when it comes to that world. I gotta do my research.
So they don't have them built in. I lied about that.
Got it.
But it just allows you to use an external thing.
So you need ExpressVPN.
Yeah, but it just works in conjunction with it. You just have to configure it in your settings.
Interesting.
Good to know.
We should get one.
Gotta learn.
All right, let's move on to our last story here. I think the political violence thing is no bueno. We don't endorse political violence. So chill out, everybody. all
Yeah,
right?
not on this podcast.
On Josh's other podcast, though, called New Jersey Political Violence.
Yeah, you guys don't know I run 3 other podcasts that I'm not even on. Which ones are they?
All right, let's move on to this last story here. So here's what it says. New Jersey energy costs will officially rise June 1st, with some residents seeing up to 30% spikes. So this is the talk of the town for everybody over the age of 30 in New Jersey right now. The young people are not talking about this, but if you go on TikTok for people in their 40s right now living in New Jersey, this is what they're talking about.
No one wants to pay an extra 30%, man.
Well, it's going up. They're saying the average is going to be like 20-something%, but some people are going to see
it's a lot.
31% spikes in their energy costs. This is crazy. This is going to, I think, radicalize a lot of people. As far as we're entering an election season right now, and this is going to be, I think, the number one issue this summer. Besides the schools, people are going to be talking about energy costs and how do we get them down. So this is going into effect on June 1st, so everybody should be aware that it's coming. And I found an article about it that I found to be interesting because it kind of gives sort of the source of what went on here. So it says, as the summer season rapidly approaches and June 1st energy rate hikes get set to take effect, rising energy prices are the top of mind here in the Garden State. So it says the views are strong about this issue on both sides and about how we got here and how we get out. So Eric, I'm going to say his last name wrong. Eric DiGiserio. What do you think? Did I say that right?
Not bad.
Eric DiGiserio is a special advisor to the Fuel Merchants Association of New Jersey Motor Truck Association, and the New Jersey Propane Gas Association. He has been a critic of the Murphy administration's energy policies. So his big thing is, right, he referred to the closure of several coal-powered plants and the Oyster Creek nuclear power plant, which shut down in 2018. He said, the one thing that is consistent across everything, the one thing that's true is we've taken generation off before we brought new generation on. So his critique is we're shut down these plants, coal plants, nuclear plants. And the Murphy goal, if you remember, was to get these wind turbines off the coast of New Jersey. That was going to be the big energy project, and that kind of pooped out. So now we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. If you remember, I texted you guys in the chat. I was going down to Cape May a few weeks ago, and there was this big power plant that used to be off the parkway when you get near AC. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's gone now. It's completely gone. And this is, then there's also, that's not Oyster Creek, I don't think. Oyster Creek nuclear plant is further up. But there's all these power plants that are no longer
So that's what they mean by the saying, like, we've taken generation off before, brought a new one on. So they got rid of these plants before we even have another solution.
Yeah. He says, if you go back to high school business class, when you learn the supply and demand curve, as you take away and continue to use the same amount, and now at an increasing amount and or projected increasing amount of demand for electricity, you're going to have a concern about price.
What a wreck. What a mess.
So this is just a disaster. Governor Murphy's responding. He has a response to all this. On May 14th, Governor Phil Murphy announced a set of executive actions ahead of June 1st rate hikes. So some of those included urging utilities to expand the winter termination program, suspend reconnection fees to a certain date past the summer peak usage months. He directed New Jersey Board of Public Utilities to evaluate all available funding and programming to stabilize bills. He directed the NJBPU to expedite opening another competitive solar incentive program. So he's coming up with this stuff now, but I think it's too little too late. I think this is going to taint Governor Murphy's legacy, to be honest with you. I think the NJ Transit thing is poetic justice that, if you remember, he ran on that. That was like his big project, is he's going to fix NJ Transit. And in the end of his tenure, we have a major strike. And it just feels like things are sort of falling apart. I think this is way worse than that. And then on top of that, even more controversial. Have you guys heard about what the state is doing with energy, where now if people don't pay their bills, the state is going to foot the cost of the bill?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard of this?
So what, a lot of people are just not going to pay?
So here's a video of someone explaining how this is going to happen. I think this is interesting. Can I play this before we wrap up?
Yeah, but this is officially happening?
Yeah. Division of Rate Counsel. Listen to this. This is interesting.
Didn't think that there was anything else in this issue that could shock me more than what you just said. Seriously.
The utility wants you to get that help because at the end of the day, the utility needs their bill to be paid. They don't care if you pay it, if the government pays it, if LIHEAP pays it. As I understand it, the individual ratepayer is not collecting interest on it. What the utility does is it says, I didn't collect $10,000 this month. So I have to carry that, and they put interest on that then is socialized to all ratepayers. So, yes, they're getting interest, but it's not.
Wait. They socialize that to all ratepayers? So, in other words, if there's individuals that can't pay their bill, they don't get a shutoff notice, but everybody else then pays the interest on their unpaid bill?
Oh, it's better than that. If they don't pay their bill, the utility still can put that into what's called an uncollectible fund. And then they get the uncollectibles from the ratepayers who are paying their bills. So this is another reason why we need to help our ratepayers, because the more ratepayers who can't pay their bill, the higher the rates will go up for everybody else.
So what he's saying, did you catch that? Mm-hmm. So basically what's going to happen is not only the interest on the unpaid bill is going to be footed by other people, you and I, who pay our bills, but even the people that don't pay their bill totally, some of that bill is going to be put onto you, the regular New Jersey resident that's paying your energy bills. So
when does that go into effect?
I think that's already happening.
Really?
Yeah, I could be mistaken on that. I didn't want to open the can of worms.
I just checked my PSE&G. I didn't pay my electric bill.
Better get on that.
I'm a little late right now. I just realized.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Should I just not pay it?
Maybe not.
You could pay it for me.
Other people will. But hey, a lot of stuff happening in New Jersey. I don't know how we fix energy. This is going to be a big conversation. We're going to have to figure out ways to build new power plants. I mean, they're saying solar farms. I don't know. Like a solar farm is going to... Where are we going to put that?
No, there's no room.
Where in New Jersey are you going to put a solar farm that's going to power
all the free
state?
space is going to all the apartments.
Like you need like 100 square miles in Nevada, they say, to power.
It's also just so... Sorry, what were you going to say?
Go.
I was going to say it's so inefficient, like solar power. Like there's so many different issues with it where it's like you need a way of storing that power too. Because
that too. You could have the field, but where are you going to store it?
Yeah, it's like you need massive, batteries and stuff to potentially store all that energy.
Yeah.
So it's
They're going to take over the Woodbridge and Menlo Park Mall parking lots.
Just turn them into a battery.
Yeah, that's it.
So, all right, let's wrap up this episode. This was a longer one. Hey, everybody, thank you for listening. Have an awesome Memorial Day weekend with your family and friends, whoever you're hanging with. If you served in one of the armed forces and you maybe lost a loved one or friend, or maybe you're listening and you've lost a family member serving our nation, we thank you for their service. God bless the troops. God bless New Jersey. We got some great people living here. And have an awesome Memorial Day weekend with whatever you're doing. If you're waiting in line at a sleazy bar down the shore, or if you're just having hot dogs in the backyard, have a great one. We'll see you next Friday. Any words, boys?
God bless America.
God bless America.
Maybe I should watch that documentary.
You should.
What's the line?
It'll make you feel so patriotic.
Yeah, maybe I will do that. What were you saying?
God bless our troops. God bless America.
And gentlemen, start your engines.
There we go.
We'll see you next week.
You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.